All right, let's get on to my topic, I guess. Meta kind of hinted at it earlier. I didn't do nearly as many demoing events and walking around the dealer
You
hall
lack the discipline
as
required.
Meta did. Yeah, exactly. I spent a lot of time playing D&D. That was a lot of my Gen Con. D&D and
That's cool
L5R.
too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But a game I wanted to try and I knew was going to be there, and that I was like, no, I'm not going to demo a whole lot of stuff, but this is one I definitely want to try, is Roba, or Radiant Offline Battle Arena, a game by Legendforge. I believe AEG was looking at publishing this game initially, and it kind of goes against their model. They're more trying to focus on quick, fast board games and kind of more family-centric stuff
Are they?
for the
Because
most part.
they released Unicornus Knights, and that's not a quick, fast game.
Okay, well,
I don't know what the
I'm
model is.
I'm just saying what I've been told. I'm just repeating it.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Quote from an unknown source.
Don't shoot the
All right.
messenger.
So Wednesday, I got into Indianapolis and met up with Spooky, Robert Denton, and some of the other guys before we went to go get dinner, which we do every year. And Spooky and George Maney, they're both also known as Batman from Winter Court 4, the guy who ruined the Empress Party. Who are both on the Last Province podcast, and Dan Deneen. We all met up on Wednesday, and I got to demo the game. Roba is essentially MOBA, the card game, and I believe you played this too, didn't you, Meta?
Yes, I played this with my fiance.
Yeah.
So
you can back me up on some of this. So essentially, the way the game works is I kind of describe it as almost a mix between old 5R and Magic in a sense. You pick 3 heroes, and they're like your MOBA heroes. And the point of the game, or the object of the game anyways, is to break 3 of your opponent's bases. And when you do so, you reveal basically like their ultimate, like, I think they called it like deity hero or something like that. I can't remember the exact terminology.
Yeah, I don't remember it fully.
But
either.
basically like their hidden powerful hero. And when that person was revealed, they could start attacking and defending with it and stuff. But every hero has a health pool. You can kill their heroes, and then you can buy them back, kind of like you would in a MOBA game and stuff. So you pick 3 heroes, and it's kind of how you build your deck. And you have 3 bases, and you're restricted to choose certain bases based off what starting heroes you have. And they all have different abilities. They have cards in the deck that you can only play if you pick the heroes. So a lot of the game is choosing your heroes and finding ones that like synergize together and stuff. Basically, every turn you're allotted a number of action points. You use these action points to basically move between bases. You'll use them to attack bases. There's other various effects. I wish they had like a comprehensive rules thing up somewhere. There's not really a lot of information about the game on the internet, so I'm trying to remember a lot of this from memory. You use them to equip your heroes with equipment that you start with that you keep face down. So your opponent doesn't know what you have there. Or you can use them to level up your character, and so on and so forth. So leveling up makes your heroes more powerful. You'll basically flip them over, and they'll get kind of like a beefed up ability. And sometimes, like, if you basically tap your hero to attack a base, you can declare a clash, and your opponent can decide if he wants to defend. If he defends, he taps his person. You also have to spend an action point to ready one of your heroes. And if you clash, it's almost like a duel in old 5R. You'll put a card face down, and you'll reveal it, and it'll have an attack stat on it, and you'll basically compare your attack stats. Every hero has an attack stat, which is kind of like power in Magic. Defense stat, which isn't really like anything. It's just like soak. So if you attack me with a 3 power hero and I have 1 armor, I'll reduce that to 2. And you have health, which is like toughness, but it doesn't refresh every turn of the game. So you'll put dice on your heroes to mark your hit points, almost kind of like Pokemon. And your heroes can get knocked out.
Card games.
Yeah,
It's all a card game.
that's the best way for me to reference this stuff because I don't have like a comprehensive rulebook in front of me. Not even Dan and Spooky knew the rules completely as they were demoing it. But yeah, so you get XP, you can level up your heroes. Your heroes will die. You can do stuff to like evoke your big bad, like your super powerful guy, and they'll have really powerful abilities. But if you do so, you're kind of exposing them, and then your opponent can attack them ahead of time and potentially knock them out of the game. So a lot of the game is about... It reminds me of L5R because you move around the board, and it's all about where you go and who you send to where, attacking certain bases. And when you attack bases, you will flip them up, and they'll have an ability on them that you'll get to trigger. You can also destroy your base to trigger the ability. So intentionally destroying your base can be very beneficial at certain points. Some of them are really good. They'll do stuff like give you free power points or action points. I can't remember whatever they were called. So you can just go all out one turn or refresh your hand and stuff like that. And a lot of the fun of the game is kind of the clashing and duels that you have. Every hero also has an ultimate attack that you use when you clash. Normally, if you're defending, you don't get to do damage back to the heroes. It's just more kind of blocking to make sure they don't crack your bases, and you're kind of investing like future action points in order to block them. There's one hero called Eleanor. She reminds me of like Mercy, but more of like a medieval knight, kind of with weird mechanical Code Geass nightmare frame wings. And she can do damage on the defense. So I got to when the player attacked me with his big bad ultimate that he had evoked early, and I had her ultimate in my hand that makes her power go up to 7. So he like one-shotted the boss monster with her when I blocked with her. So
I gotta question you on something, because the way like we were told about for defending is that if they go to block it, then they just take damage, they don't hit back. But if you're attacking them and they're in the ready position, they will deal damage back to you.
That might be the case, but I thought you had to tap your guy to defend.
I don't fully know or not. It really didn't come up in the one game that we played. It didn't really come up a lot. We kind of just, went for the base more so than the other game.
I defended pretty aggressively, so I was always tapping and doing stuff.
No, I don't think they had to tap to defend.
Really?
Yeah, I attacked...
You could be right.
I attacked my fiance's character, and I don't think they had to tap to defend themselves.
You could be right. Like I said, I don't have the rules in front of me, but
yeah.
I know you don't do damage unless you have Eleanor in play. But there's one cool hero, because you have the 3 heroes, and you have your secret one. There's one cool secret one who just starts the game flipped over.
Yes.
And your whole playstyle, he's basically like, he looks kind of like the Lich King.
He's amazing.
And your whole playstyle is about buffing him up and being super aggressive, and he just like heals lots of damage done on him and stuff. So you can just go swing around madly with him.
He is so fantastic.
He's a super one. I can't remember what one I did. I think he just gave you like a bunch of action points when you evoked him.
That's what I had too. Is the dragon one? He gives you like 5 power. Once he shows
so you can take like a big turn basically.
Yeah.
The little individual heroes were cool. There was one that lets you like he almost has like double strike and like magic. It lets you basically when you clash, you can put down 2 cards, so you can get double effect on that. There's one guy that would like heal people whenever he readied, so you could like heal your heroes. Yeah, the bear, Bran, I think was his name, something like that. There's a bunch of heroes too in the base game. I think there were like 12 to 15. They all seem really cool and interesting, and I like a lot about the game is kind of finding the right pairs to go together, because there's literally so many different combinations. I think Spooky told me that they're going to start kickstarting it in February-ish. I don't know if you heard anything on that in meta.
I think that's what they told us too.
So it's still got a while before it's going to come out.
Yeah. They're still like cleaning up some of because a lot of the cards have like old text and stuff on them, was what Spooky was telling me. And,
there is a little bit to clean up in the game, I think. But I can get into that later on.
But I think it has really good potential.
How was the art?
I don't have it's not bad.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad.
When you think this is a mobile card game, then you see the art, you're like, okay, this looks like I'm staring at Dota art. It's basically what it is. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the game? I'm going to kickstart it. So, and I've never kickstarted anything.
Oh, that was your first time kickstarting. Oh, they grow up so fast.
Yeah, I know.
We enjoyed the game. I will admit, like, unfortunately, I had it came down with a very nasty migraine during the game. So I don't know if that's a reflection of the game or if that's just me.
It is. It's totally
Your
the
game
game.
killed me.
Your game killed me. But I enjoyed it. But if you've played a MOBA, if you have grown up with that on the gaming, there are a lot of things that are taken out from it. There are no minions. There is no like building item trees. Generally, at least from what they showed, what they had on there was that you generally just buy the items. Power is really slow to get, unless you succeed at performing like either kills and the like, or you have a base that gives you power, or you have like something else.
There's a keyword that will give you, if you have a character with this keyword in play, you'll generate a free power every turn.
Yep. So, but it's kind of slow going, which at least again from the demo that we're playing, we only played one round of it. Unfortunately, because I had a migraine, I had to go back and just lay down and go to sleep. It was pretty nasty. But I remember at the time, like one of the things was like you could get this really cool buff. It gave you like 3 more power, and it gave you 1 more health. But it cost 7 power, and I was sitting there was like, I really don't want to buy that because the game went by very quickly.
Yeah.
I would also say that the ultimates are really powerful.
Yeah, they are.
Like almost too powerful. My fiance, I broke her last base. Her celestial, or like whatever the crap they're called. Guardian came out. And on my turn next, I readied up my 1 attacker, moved it over, attacked, dropped their ultimate, and one-shot the boss.
Yeah.
So they didn't even get like a round to really do much with them out on it. I just blew it up right away.
Yeah, you have to really, I think it's a lot just really knowing when you can flip the thing. And I think almost if the game gets to the point where all 3 of your bases are destroyed and it gets evoked, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Especially if it's towards the end, because your opponent can just literally, if they can like with their first action point break your last base, then you have to flip your guy, and they can just attack it.
Yep. And then there's also the thing that like you kind of have to make a choice, because when your main your guardian essentially just jumps out onto the field, you actually have to sacrifice one of your normal characters in place of it. Which means that your team that was balanced around this idea of them 3 being out kind of gets gutted a bit in order to bring out this other individual creature. And it also means technically that like if you leveled them all up, which I mean, how are you having yours come out if you've leveled them all up? But you generally don't want to take the one that you already leveled up because that took power to invest into. From it.
That's why I sacrificed the one that I didn't.
Yeah, that was the same thing for my fiance. She sacked the one that she hadn't leveled up yet. I would actually say that probably like it also kind of just feels like this. Maybe it's just me for the items that we had or didn't use. Leveling up your characters is probably far more important in my eyes than getting gear for them. The leveling up not only gives their stat lines increase, but their powers as well got better. Like Bran, for instance, when you level him up, he gets more health, which means your evoker is now harder to kill. But instead of healing 1 wound off an ally when they readied up, he healed 2 wounds. That's actually a lot. The tank character that you have went from like he goes from like 2 defense, 7 health, 7 or 8 health, and like 3 attack or 2 attack to like suddenly 3, 4 attack and 9 health, and he even gave some damage reduction. He was just really. Oh no, he went up to 5 attack. He went from like a 3 to a 5. He was just as strong as my actual attacker. It was insane. I'm like, that's literally an equipment item. So leveling up your heroes almost is better than getting items, and I don't know if that's a design intent, at least for the heroes that I was playing with. But it's worthwhile.
It seems that way to me because a lot of the cards kind of synergize with what your hero wants to do anyways.
Yeah.
So you kind of just do more, better what they do, kind of.
Yeah. I would say cheaper items are probably the better way to go because first off, I mean, there's only so many rounds you're going to get, and if that expensive card that you put on your character doesn't get a couple turns at least to be put into use, it's a kind of a moot point to have. So I don't know if they're going to change that, if they're going to up the power. I don't know, how long what they're still working on in the game. But there are a number of quality of life things I would like to see changed on it. I don't want to come off as harsh on the game, but having played an extensive amount of MOBAs, I can actually come to the table in here and say there's a lot of changes for this card game that you will feel a drastic change. If you're trying to get that full-on mobile feel, you're not going to get it with the game. That said, it was still very fun. I had a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Yep, I loved it. I thought it was a blast. I wish I'd have got to play more of it, but like I said, I was playing lots of D&D.
It's going to be enough for you to kickstart it.
Yep.
The first time, so.
Yep. One of my friends I rode up with, who's a very harsh card game critic, seemed to like it a lot too. So.
I hope it does really well. I hope it succeeds. I kind of want to take off a bit just because it is something different.
Yeah.
It's not a card game I've seen before.
And it's an Eternal card game, so that's the we're not a LCG, don't sue us FFG terminology, basically.
Eternal. Yeah, I know, right?
Like Doomtown and some others. So
this is TCG and CCG all over again.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait till February. I can kickstart it and see what some of the other stuff is. They'll probably be get promo alt stuff, and I want that Eleanor mat because
design
is awesome.
I wish I had
That'd be awesome.
Like 10 grand.
I really wish I had stuck around. I've been able to stick around for longer because I really wanted to try out that Lich King Black Knight type character.
Yeah, and he was cool. They also did a draft tournament, and draft sounded really interesting. I can't remember exact details, but you drafted. It went in snake order. You picked the hero, then the guy next to you, then next to you, then next to you, and then he got to pick twice, and then it snaked back to you, and you. That seemed really interesting too.
Yeah,
and
drafting
your equipment and stuff like that. So.
Huh.
Yeah, it seemed really cool. You could tell that everyone who's demoing the game was really excited about working on it and stuff, which is always good to see. So,
yeah, hopefully, it doesn't take 2 years after the Kickstarter.
I don't think it will because they have actual cards with art on them. I think it's more just fixing stuff up and getting the money to get it mass printed. Yeah. So they, I think the guy who designed it's been working on it already for 2 or 3 years. So,
oh wow.
Yep. Looking forward to it. All right, guys, this has been episode 22 of Podcast 5 Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of the video games. Tabletop, lots of tabletop today. Anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast 5 Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and Soundcloud. Now topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Check us out on Twitter, Podcast5R, Facebook, P5R Podcast. Check out Meta Streams, twitch.tv/PSO Flow.
I would actually advise to anybody listening that you do check it out. I will be trying to stream some of the L5R decks that my fiance will have, and
we
also
talked about
playing.
That.
Yep, and then they'll also be playing some more board games on there as well from some of the stuff we've either gotten and the like. So we'll be trying to do some setup for that kind of stuff.
Yep, if you like board games and stuff, check it out. So we'll be back next week. Maybe we'll have an episode that we haven't had in a long time where we don't talk about L5R because we might not have any news to talk about.
Almost happened today.
But you're finally going to get that Death Note that you've been waiting on for a month.
Oh God!
It comes out tomorrow.
Why?
I don't know why you're doing.
You're going to get to hear me rant about it.
We already know. We already know it's horrible.
I want to take a cattywampus and eat it.
Really?
And with that, we're out, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Bye.